All right, my friends, we are starting off laying down today. So on your back, get very comfortable and take some time. Close your eyes. And then I want you to really intentionally press your shoulder blades underneath your heart here. Maybe pick up your chest a little bit, scooch those shoulder blades under your big rib cage so that you feel your big rib bones are curving upward toward the ceiling. Your heart feels open. And as you breathe, breathe deeply. All right, find your inhales are very long, big breath in. And exhales are very long. Use your belly muscles to squeeze the air out. We'll take a few more moments just breathing deeply like this, just to begin your practice, okay? And so I just want you to really dive in. Be very still in the rest of your body as your belly and your chest and your back work to make huge inhales, really spreading over and open all your available space. And huge exhales. Keep it going, slow and easy, nice and long. Now, it's really not that often that we stop and really try to use all of our available breathing capacity. So I want you to play with that here. Going to the very top of your inhale, maybe holding it there as you sip in a little more. And then the very bottom of your exhale. Maybe pause there as you squeeze a little more air out. Playing with the boundaries of your breath. Using those belly and your back and chest muscles. Now, breathing deeply like this is just such a wonderful way to wake up your core, your front body, your back body. It just really wakes up all the musculature in your torso. And so I want you to just think of getting warm from the inside here. Hopefully you notice the difference after lying here and breathing deeply for just a few moments. I hope that you feel more grounded and more connected to this moment for whatever it is. It's very rare and it's very important that we take a moment just to stop and be. Just appreciating what is, whatever sounds you hear, whatever you feel in your body right now. How about one more really big breath in and out, and we'll start to bring in a little movement after some deep breathing practice. See if you can continue to cultivate your long, slow breath throughout your practice and even off your mat into your life, okay? And we'll just keep moving, keeping that long, deep breath. Go ahead and reach your arms up overhead. Take a big breath in and then enjoy stretching yourself out to be as long as you can. Should feel really good. Okay, big breath here. Maybe one more. And this time with your exhale, think of bending your knees, pulling them in by your chest, and bring your hands towards your knees or your shins. See if you could curl your head and shoulders up off the mat, like you wanted to lift your chest and your knees toward each other, okay? And then inhale to roll it back to that long reaching out shape. Let's try that a few more times. Just beginning to move. Again, exhale, bend those knees in. Hands to knees. See if you could peel the head and shoulders up. Let's do it a few more times. Maybe just find a little pace that suits you. Inhale to reach out long. Exhale, pull it into a tiny little ball, chest to knees. Keep going. Maybe let's do 3 more, nice and slow. Feel your core waking up. Feel your back body waking up. Hip flexors, 2 more. And now let's try to hold the last one. It's a little bit of a challenge, but we can do it. Go ahead and lift that head and shoulders. Now remember your neck is long and please breathe. Challenging yourself, holding this core and abs work for 1 more big breath in. And exhale here, roll yourself down. Let it go. Drop those feet by your hips and drop your hands by your hips. And we'll get ready to go into some bridge movement, okay? So go ahead and give your shoulder blades a nice tuck underneath your rib cage so that you can appreciate that spaciousness across your chest. And point the tip of your nose straight up at the sky, okay? And I'll just use my words so you don't feel like you have to look at me. So you can just keep that nose pointed up and then put a slight engagement between your knees, just like you're holding a tennis ball between your knees. So there's a little space. So I want you to try to keep your tennis ball, keep your nose pointed up, and then lift your hips nice and high up off the floor. Take a big breath in while you do that. And when you're exhaling, see if you could snake your spine down. Very snaky. Shall we try that a few more times? Okay, inhale, lift your hips, snake it up. Then exhale to lower your hips, snake it down. So again, just take a few more, find a nice rhythm that suits you. You might close your eyes and just enjoy. Now, notice, if you will, when you lift your hips, do you have a tendency to pull your knees apart from each other? If you do, make an extra special effort to keep those knees holding your tennis ball. And make the spine extra snaky. Let's do maybe 3 more, okay? Should feel really nice. Rolling it up. Rolling it down. You can even go a little bit sideways, pointing your tailbone side to side. See if you could really point the tailbone forward, almost tucking it as you move. Okay, next time you come up, let's hold up there for a little while and breathe. So of course, you could always come down from here if you needed to. Okay, you might walk your feet in a little bit. My feet tend to get away from me. All right, but we still have the tennis ball between the knees, and we're still pointing the nose up. So hold and breathe. Okay, I like to play around with little arm variations here. So you might bend your elbows and make robot arms, pressing your elbows down and pointing your fingertips up. Okay, taking a few more big breaths here. It's a little challenging, but stick with it if you can, or take that break when you need it. But I want you to really point your tailbone at your knees, hold that tennis ball, and push the floor down for 1 more big breath in. And with your exhale, let's see if we could really snake the spine down slowly. Just take your time, roll that spine down. When your hips finally land on the mat, relax. Walk your feet away from each other. And then drop those knees together. okay? Just making a nice little tent shape, releasing your low back to the floor. Okay, and let's just take a moment. We'll let the lower body kind of rest after that nice challenge for your hamstrings and your glutes in your bridge pose. So from here, let's get a little bit more into your upper body with some cactus arms. Just take them out to the side. Elbows are bent, palms are facing up. And hopefully this feels like a nice little stretch across your shoulders. Okay, gonna get your upper body a little bit more awakened. So reaching out on your inhale, think of reaching those hands away from you. Think of keeping your arms on the floor, like you wanted to slide them across the floor. And with your exhale, slide them on the floor, bend those elbows and pull them down by your sides. Make a tiny cactus shape. So tiny cactus, reaching out to a big cactus again. Reach those hands away, inhale. And pull it in on your exhale. So keep breathing. I just want you to take a few more of these. So we warmed up lower body. We warmed up the spine, the core. Now I want your shoulders to start to feel really warm as well. So always having those palms and those armpits flipped up and open to the ceiling. Hopefully you're getting that back and shoulder nice and warm. And so next time you reach out here, I want you to hold right there. Reach your legs out nice and long again. Take one big breath in here, reaching out, stretch it out. And with your exhale, go ahead and tuck those knees in. You can grab one hand behind each knee. And we're going to be a little bit playful here, okay, a little bit silly. Take your knees maybe a bit wide for extra stability. And then think of rocking yourself forward and back on the mat a few times. Take a little time, and it's okay if it feels very silly. Just embrace it. Think of rocking back smoothly, rocking up. Let's see if you can get a great back massage out of it, unless you're on a wood floor, when you might feel differently. Okay, so maybe next time you rock up, try to balance in a little boat pose. Navasana. So I'll meet you here in your boat pose. Remember, you can tip your feet down to the floor for extra balancing help. Okay. So no matter where you are in a boat, if you have your toes up or down, please have your longest spine. And keep breathing as you strengthen your belly muscles inward to lift up and in, supporting your low back. Breathe here with me, challenging yourself to hold this boat pose. If everything's going well, see if you could reach forward with one hand towards your feet. Okay, now you might drop a foot while you do that. Or not. You can challenge yourself to keep lifted. Keep breathing. You're building warmth in your core and your back right now. Your hip flexors. Maybe you reach the other hand forward. Hold and breathe. Long spine. One more big breath in here. And then we're going to let it go. Exhale here. Go ahead and drop those feet. If you had the legs up, you can lean back on your hands here. Maybe take your feet a bit wider. And let's enjoy some nice windshield wipers. Just moving the knees side to side. So just a very easy movement here. Just notice if your hips feel nice and warm after that boat pose. Hopefully you notice your shoulders and your spine are more warm too. Okay. Next time your knees drop over to the right, let's pause there for a moment, okay? And then go ahead and sit walk your hands over towards your hips. You're sitting up into this awkward kind of right side opening shape. And I want to arrange us a little more specifically here. So look at your legs, okay? You're going to move that right shin to where it's lined up, pointing out past the side of your space. Just wherever you are, just line that shin up with whatever direction you're facing, the right shin. Okay, take your left knee, just put it on your right ankle so that the left toes point back. So I'm gonna sit up a moment and show you what it looks like when you're looking down. It looks like this. This is the right leg, the bent one in front, and the left one is bent with the toes pointing back. All right, so take a moment here, getting arranged into this shape. I call this a mermaid shape. And then lean on that right hand out to the right. And we're going to use this shape to open up the left side. So pick up your left hip. Okay, think of pressing down into your knees. And you could sweep that left arm overhead. You can do a big breath in while you do that. Big breath into the left side. And then exhale, bringing it on down. Okay, keeping your hips grounded. This time, let's do the right side. Inhale, the right arm up and open. Reaching to the left. And then exhale, bring it down. So let's try that a few more times, flowing just like that. Okay, picking the hips up, big breath in, left side up and open. Hips down on the exhale. And then inhale, right side. This time the hips stay down. So see if you can just go through this mini flow a few more times. We're opening up the side body here. So hopefully you feel some nice warmth and movement into the left side and then the right. As you move, see if you notice, maybe your shoulders might tend to move up by your ears. That's very common for your shoulders to do. See if you could keep your neck really long, like a giraffe. Okay, next time you come down and your right hand is on the floor, just pause there for a moment. Go ahead and extend that left leg, okay, nice and long out to the left. And then using what you have here on the floor, okay, just press up off of the floor. See if you could get up onto that right knee. You might want to pick up the right knee and move it back so it's more under your right hip, okay? And don't worry, you have time to get yourself comfortable here. So double check to be sure that right hand is under the right shoulder and it's in line with your left knee and your left foot. So I like to think of everything on the floor being in a line. All right, so from here, make sure you're nice and supported because we'll be here for a moment. Okay, long spine. And just take a moment to enjoy that left side opening. Maybe you feel the left side of the low back spreading a bit. See if you could do your best to point your tailbone at your left foot. And then maybe that left hand reaches overhead to the right. Enjoying a bigger stretch, going all the way up the left spine and rib cage. Take a few breaths here, just enjoying extra space. Okay, now the most effective way that we can lengthen here into the left side is by using the right side to strengthen and push against the floor. So take a few more breaths here and experiment with using that right side to actively push the floor down, okay, using your strong core. Now, how does that allow the left side to open up? Whenever we're in these postures, we want to remember to be active. And usually, if we're a little bit active in the right way, it can free us up and allow a whole lot more release. Okay, from here, I'm going to challenge you to reach up with that left arm. Okay, now check it out. Engage your strong core and see if you could come up onto the right fingertips. Okay, just try to come up to the fingertips first. So your strong core is engaged, belly button wrapping in. Maybe you could even hover those right fingers just off the floor and slowly bring your torso all the way upright. And we'll pause right here. Okay, take a moment. We're going to rearrange the left hip. So just pick the left toes up. You can bend that left knee a little bit and put those left toes on the floor pointed to the left. Okay, that will give us hip space on the left. So from here, long arms, long spine, slight bend in the left knee. Go ahead and start reaching out toward that left foot with the left hand, just reaching. We're taking a long time to do this, so take a big breath. And maybe reach a little more. Starting to feel some really nice space opening up in the right side. Let's maybe take one more breath, just reaching out there. Strong core, long spine. And then finally, drop your left hand to either your left shin or your left thigh, okay? Please avoid pushing down on the knee. So shin or thigh, and we'll get that right arm up. And breathe here. Making a big shape with your body. Let's take 5 or 6 long, slow breaths here. Now you can always bring it up to the thigh or your hip if you want, okay? You can make it deeper if it feels right. Remember, always you're lengthening your spine actively. You're pushing the floor down with your legs. And you want to think of the tailbone always tucking a little bit here. Remember to point your nose also wherever it feels natural. You can always experiment. Notice how warm you can get just holding one posture. Okay, let's take this last long, slow breath here. Make it count. Okay, now we're gonna come out slowly and with control. So reaching out through that right hand, slowly come up, controlled. And just as controlled and slowly with your strong core, allow those right fingertips to very slowly come back to the floor on the right, under your right shoulder. Okay, come on down to your supported side plank. One more time. Here, reach out through that left arm. Take a big stretch into the left side. Okay, enjoying all that opening after we just really strengthened it. And then we'll come down here. Go ahead and sit your hips back down the way we came, okay? Just sitting back down. You can lean back on your hands again. And we'll take a few more windshield wipers. So feet wide, knees wide, just knocking the knees side to side. So shake off your hips here. Notice your low back, your shoulders, hopefully feeling some good warmth and spaciousness in your body. Now we'll do all of that little flow on the other side. So next time you drop your knees to the left, go ahead and pause there, okay? And walk your hands up by your hips to sit up. I'll spin around to face you, but we are in the same position. So take that left shin, line it up with the direction you're facing out. So you're looking out over that left shin, okay? Right knee is near that left foot, and the right toes can point back behind you. So I'll sit up. If you wanted a visual, I can show you that it looks like a little triangle when you look down. Okay, so drop into that left hand here. We'll do the same little flow, lifting your hips, press those knees down, right arm up and over, stretch your right side, and exhale, bring it down. On the left, the hips stay grounded as you lift that right arm up and, left arm up and over. And exhale, bring it down. So let's go side to side like that a few times. Okay, you can close your eyes here, just enjoy. Stretching that rib cage and back open on each side. Should feel super good. And remember to keep your neck long, okay? It's tempting to collapse your neck, but keep it long and open. All right, next time your hands come down, you've got that left hand on the floor. Let's pause and lengthen the right leg, okay? Take that right leg out, right foot on the floor, and then use what you have here, push up into your supported side plank. Okay. Now I like to move the left knee here. I like to move it back so it's directly under the left hip. To me, that just feels more supportive. And you can really take some time here, making sure that the left hand is nice and under the left shoulder, left knee, left hip. There's your support because we're gonna need it to keep going. So take a moment enjoying this, reaching out through that right hand into a big supported side plank stretch. And breathe. This is a great release for your low back here, but you've got to keep the core strong. And one of the best ways that I can tell you to cultivate that here is to actively use that left side. Push the floor down with your left side and feel it expand into your right. All right, taking maybe one more big breath in here. It feels good. It's hard to leave, but we're gonna let it go. Go ahead and reach up with that right hand here and see if you could use that movement to pull yourself up onto your left fingertips. Engaging your strong core, lift all the way up slowly, bringing that torso upright, and breathe and pause here. Okay, to keep going, we need to rearrange the right hip to externally rotate. So pivot on that right heel, bend a little in the right knee so it's not locked, and plant those right toes. Okay, now keep that spine nice and long, and we're gonna reach, it's gonna take a long time. We're gonna reach out to the right with that right hand. So keep breathing here. Very nice, have a long spine, have a big chest. Okay, so now beginning to feel that opening in the left side, okay? Long neck. And finally, find a place for the right hand to rest on your right shin or thigh. Okay, please avoid the knee. You can even do hip. So from here, you have the option to get that left arm up and over as well. Breathe deeply. We'll spend some time here building warmth, building space. Think of always lengthening that neck and keeping that belly really nice and strong. This is called gate pose, Parigasana. Okay, I'm not entirely sure why it's called gate pose, but I always imagined that the sides of the body would just open from each other the way a gate opens in a fence. Last breath here. Enjoying left side opening, and then make your way up and out. That left hand reaching slowly, using your core strength to bring those left fingers very slowly to the floor. Okay, from here you can again drop it with your hips back down to the ground. Again, lean back on your hands. Take some windshield wipers. All right. From here, go ahead and drop your knees out to one side, okay? Any side, and roll over to hands and knees. And I'll meet you here. Okay, take some time here, pushing the floor. All right. From here, tuck your toes, Lift your hips up and back. Go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. We're going to take a moment just to hang in a forward fold. So bend your knees really, really generously here. And just think of being very floppy. And maybe you can kind of sway side to side here. Okay. If your hands don't touch the floor, maybe you just put your elbows on your knees just so that your upper body isn't hanging unsupported, okay? But give yourself this time. Okay, it's very rare that your upper body will just hang from your spine like this in your daily life. But it's so good for your spine, just to hang and lengthen. As a matter of fact, you probably just got a centimeter taller just by doing this. Okay, we're gonna roll up nice and slow. So find some stillness here. Plant into your feet and inhale, push the floor down as you roll to standing. Think of stacking your vertebrae one on top of the other. Okay, push into your heels here, reaching your hands way up, look up. Okay, with your exhale, hinging at your hips, we're gonna bend the knees maybe to fold it all the way down, folding all the way down. We'll start to flow a little bit here, okay? So walking your hands forward, take a big breath in. You can drop your knees here if you like. Okay, with your exhale, lower yourself all the way down. So we'll just go through a little funky vinyasa variation. Pulling back on your hands, inhale, lift your heart, find a cobra. It can be a little cobra or a big cobra, big chest. And with your exhale, tuck your toes, press it all the way up and back to hands and knees. Okay, let's do that one more time. Inhale, move that heart forward. You might find a little plank with your knees up, or you might have a plank with your knees down. Okay, exhale, drop your heart all the way to the floor, come down. Okay, pull those elbows in. Inhale, as you pull back on your hands, lift your heart for a little cobra. And again, exhale, tuck your toes, press it up and back, hands and knees. Okay, we'll do that one more time. So inhaling for your plank, exhale, lower yourself to the floor. Inhale for your little cobra, pull that heart up. And exhale, tuck the toes, bring it up and back, hands and knees. All right, from here, take a little moment. We're just gonna take the right foot forward by the right hand. So take some time finding a lunge that feels really nice for you. Now, we're not cold, okay? We're kind of warm. So you might wanna move the left knee back and allow the hips to drop a little lower. But I do want you to take time to find a lunge that is comfortable. So maybe you pad the back knee. If you feel comfortable just staying right here, and this is where you're happy, go ahead and stay in this supported lunge with your hands under your shoulders. If you're feeling good, press up with that right knee and come on up with your torso. And let's breathe here for a moment. Okay, if everything's going great, you can reach your hands up and breathe. So wherever you are, I want you to keep a gentle activity in your legs. They're always pushing the floor down. So both legs push down and the knees pull inward. And keep breathing. Okay, finding some nice warmth and space in your low lunge. Anjaneyasana. Push that floor down and pull the knees inward. We'll take a couple more long, slow breaths here. Keep your legs on the clock and start to lift your heart here, perhaps, if it feels right. Okay, let's do one more really big breath. Just building warmth here. And as you're ready, we're coming on down. So drop your hands under your shoulders. Okay, and think of pulling back with your hips. Pull your hips toward the back of your space. And let's pause here. So that right leg is going to lengthen out. And you might want to come up on your fingertips here, under your shoulders. So fingertips under shoulders, your spine feels nice and long. And if your spine doesn't feel long, you can bend that right knee if it helps. We don't need to straighten the right knee necessarily. But from wherever you are, I want you to dig down in that right heel. So the ankle is flexed, the heel is digging down, and you're pulling back on the right hip. Now let's hold here and breathe. In your half split, your Ardha Hanumanasana, okay, we're getting a nice opening along the side of the right leg and the back. Nice work here, just holding and being in the posture. Think of that long spine. And if you're feeling good here, and if you especially want to target the right outer hip and IT band, you can keep that right ankle flexed and you can roll into the outer edge of the right foot, okay? Like you wanted to point your toes to the right and even walk your hands to the right. So you're continuing that press down in the heel, pull back in the hip. If you're a cyclist or a runner, this might be interesting for you. So please explore with compassion. All right, nice movement in that hip, nice movement for the leg. Let's bring it back to center. So if you walked out to the right, bring it back through. We'll come back through a lunge, so putting that right knee back on, or right foot back on the floor. Bring it back to hands and knees. And then again, tuck your toes, lift your hips, and walk your hands back to your feet. Come into another hanging forward fold. Shake it out, shake your head. Okay, notice if your neck tends to just feel like it needs to do something here. Just let it go. Maybe take your hands behind you if you feel comfortable here and move them away from you. Okay, bend your knees so generously that your chest brushes your knees. Really allowing some great release into that low back. Okay, if you joined your hands, go ahead and release them. It's time to roll up. So press into your heels and inhale as you stack yourself up again. Nice and slowly. Reach up here, plant into your heels, and maybe even look up. And again, fold with your exhale. Think of hinging at your hips. Okay, maybe bend your knees a lot as you roll down. From here, palms are planted. Inhale and walk your hands forward to a little plank, okay? And then you might use your knees or not. Exhale all the way down. That same little flow we did before. Inhale for a cobra. Pull that heart up and open. And exhale, hands and knees to your plank maybe. Okay, so add in that plank if you want. We're going to do 2 more. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, plank, or hands and knees. 1 more. Exhale down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, back to hands and knees. Okay, from here, let's get the left foot forward. Put it by the left hand. And take some time getting comfortable in your lunge. Okay, a lot of us are going to want to pad the right knee here or just put it further back maybe. And feel free to stay down. Feel free to come up. Wherever you are in your lunge is perfect. If it feels good and you're still having a good time, but you're still interested. Okay, and maybe arms up. So wherever you are, make sure that those legs are on the clock. They are actively pushing the floor down, at least a little bit. And they are actively pulling the knees toward each other. So I want you to feel both actions. And just be in the lunge. We're just going to breathe here. Okay, you can always be more supported in the lunge if you need it. So remind yourself about your lower body, and then let's see if we could keep the spine extra lifted here. Maybe lifting the heart. Spreading open in your chest. Make sure your neck is always long. And remember to look wherever it feels natural, just wherever that might be. Point the nose wherever you want. All right, how about one more breath here in this fantastic posture for opening up your low back, your hips, your legs, and even your heart here. And then go ahead and bring it down. Okay, bring those hands back underneath your shoulders, but you can do fingertips if you like. Go ahead and do fingertips, and then let's roll the hips back, just pull them back and hold here in your half split. So take your time. I like to really come up on my fingers so I have a long spine. So remember that you can bend the left knee here. That's totally fine. Okay, but no matter where you are, flex that left ankle big time and think of dropping down into the heel and then pulling back on the left hip and hold and breathe right here. So one thing that you can play around with, as you pull back on the left hip, think of sending the right hip forward and see how that feels for you. Okay, playing around with little alignment, things like that can really help wake a posture up. Okay, remind yourself about your long neck here. I always have to remind myself. And we can play around with the same little IT band and outer hip opener here by rocking onto the outer edge of the left foot, like you wanted to point your toes to the left. Okay, and then you can walk your hands out to the left too. This is a really interesting one, I think, to notice the differences between side to side. This one will, for most folks, tend to be dramatically different from side to side. Maybe one more breath here. Reminding yourself about your long spine, even here. And let's bring it back in. Come on back through center, through a lunge, okay? Hands back on the floor and back to hands and knees. Okay, from here, take your hips out to one side. Go ahead and have a seat. And again, lean back on your hands. Get some windshield wipers happening. Hopefully feeling some nice spaciousness in your hips and low back and heart today. We've done some really amazing work. So thanks for sticking with me. And now we're going to get really low and slow. So just from where you are, come on down to your back. Lay down. And we'll get the right knee in toward the chest. Go ahead and bend your right knee in towards your chest. You can do what you like with your left leg. And you can either grab behind the right knee or on the shin. Really, it's just whatever feels best, okay? Either way. As you pull that knee in towards your chest, could you also lift your chest towards your knee? So feel like they are magnetically drawn toward each other. The knee toward the center of your chest, and vice versa. So getting into that right hip, we're giving it a great massage right now. So think of sending your breath into that hip. Heart to knee, knee to heart. Okay, if you have the left leg bent, go ahead and extend that left leg long on the mat. And then use just your left hand to pull that right knee to the left. So we're creating a twist here, okay? Allowing that right knee to fall. Maybe arrange your hips so that they're more stacked, okay? Just whatever feels best. And then cactus the right arm. Go ahead and drop that right arm on the right. Let's see if we can look out over that right hand. So take some time. I want to spend a few breaths in this twist, so get comfortable. Your spine is twisted from top to bottom because your hips are facing left and your nose is facing right. So this is a great opportunity to really massage and wring out your spine. And the deeper you breathe here, the better. Really fantastic massage for your whole torso. So big inhales, spreading open your chest. Big exhales, using your belly muscles, moving them inward. Keep breathing, strengthening and supporting your back. Think of always doming your chest upward in this twist, like you are lifting your heart up away from the floor. Maybe one more breath here. This twist is just recalibrating your spine, cooling your body after your practice. Okay, take your time coming back through center. Okay. And then let's allow this right knee, okay, as you come back through center, allow the right knee to drop all the way to the right. You can use your right hand on the inside of the right knee just to press it gently, okay, not in a way that would hurt. And hold right here, opening up that right hip to the sky. Okay, as you hold here, if you just are looking for a sense of getting more deeply into the right hip, then think of using your body to gently resist the floor here. So think of using the right and left leg to gently push the floor down. Keep breathing into that right hip. Maybe one more big breath right here. All right, as you're ready, let's bring that right knee back in. And then go ahead and release that right foot to the floor by your hips. Let's bring the left foot in too. And let's take some windshield wipers here, just knocking the knees side to side. Shake it out. Perhaps noticing some differences between right hip and left hip here. Who knows? All right, let's do the other side. So knees are going to point up. Let's pause them there. And you can do what you like with the right leg here. Let's bring the left leg in, left knee in. So again, grab the shin if it feels good, or the thigh. Really up to you. Okay. Get comfortable and start to move the knee and the heart toward each other. And breathe here. This is like a pleasant massage for the side of your body. Okay, feeling like the rib cage is getting a little bit of a compression. It should feel nice. Your organs are getting a little bit compressed and massaged as well. It should feel nice in the low back. Maybe one more big breath here. And we'll transition into that twist. So extending your right leg here, use just your right hand to move the left knee all the way over to the right. Okay, into a twist. Arrange yourself. I like to stack the hips nicely here. And then let's cactus the left arm and drop it on the left. Go ahead and look out to the left. And breathe here. Nice, long, slow breath. There's no hurry. There's nowhere to be in this posture. You're already there. Big breaths, enjoying this wonderful opening for your chest, massage for your spine. Again, think of arching your heart up off the floor, lifting the center of your chest all the time. Remember your strong belly exhales as well. It's so important just to cultivate that deep breath in these postures, and it's so simple. All right, my friends. Transitioning out of your twist, roll that left leg back through center, and then let the left knee drop out to the left. Open up the hip, okay? Now just to the level that you're comfortable. We don't want to force anything, but you can use the left hand to gently press against, okay? I like to resist the hand a little bit. Okay, as you settle in, see if you want to really activate and wake up this posture by using your body to push the floor down and opening in that left hip. Hips are another nice place to look for differences between sides. You probably notice this posture was different on each side. All right, friends, transitioning out of this, let's bring that left knee back in. Bring the right knee up to meet it, and we'll take a few more windshield wipers here. Just knocking the knees side to side. All right, from here, go ahead and extend your legs. And take a moment just to arrange yourself in your resting posture. Allow your breath to slow down and just be, no longer controlling the breath, the length, the depth. Just let it be. Let your body be soft as well. No longer active, no longer doing anything, just being. Enjoy some time just to notice the moment happening. Allow yourself to be here inside your miraculous body, just experiencing this moment. Let your jaw hang slack and soft. Let your face melt. So please take as long as you can to rest, just like this. The longer the better. Even if you could take a nap, that would be perfect. But this is where I'll leave you for our practice today, friends. Thanks so much for joining me here.